Hi, and welcome to this installment of Frank and Mary here in Northborough. If you have not seen this show before, my name is Art Bergeron. My day job is as an elder law attorney at Myrick O'Connell, way over in Westborough. But this is not about my day job. It's about my friends Frank and Mary. Frank and Mary, if you've been to my presentations at the Northborough Library or in the area, you know that Frank and Mary's goal in life is to live in their house until they die and be buried in the backyard. And if that means Northborough, that means right here. They don't want to go to Southborough. They don't want to go to Marlborough. God knows they don't want to go to like San Diego with their grandchildren. No, they want to be right here. So the question is, who are the people you need to know? What are the programs you need to know about in order to live in your house until you die right here and be buried in the backyard? So with me is my friend Liz Tridiak, who has been the Senior Center Director, but you may never have met her since before COVID because she started like almost exactly the same time that COVID hit. And so we decided that for today she usually gets these great guests. And today we've got a special one, which is her, because she's going to be talking about in this great moment, the great opening up of our world again, what it has been like to be doing this as Senior Center Director over the last um, a lot of months now, almost a little over a year, and maybe to begin kind of where you think things are going, where she thinks things are going. So here we go, Liz. It's almost Memorial Day as we film this. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? What's going
Well,
on and what's it been like? And let's just talk about this. This is kind of like the final show of the COVID season, you know?
that's crazy to think about because we've been
Isn't it?
doing this right from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I think so. My start date was April 6th, 2020. And within that was the very first day the building was closed to the public. I met the interim director outside the front door and she handed me the key and that was how this all started. But you and I, Arthur, started the show maybe like 2 weeks after that
Right.
to to introduce me, I guess, to the Northborough community. And it's just been such a crazy time.
A
Um,
crazy. And by the way, I really appreciate you doing those shows. And I think that this experience has also, I think, shown a lot of folks, including a lot of seniors, as well as some public officials and stuff, the importance of Northborough Cable, right? And
Absolutely.
just in terms of providing an ongoing way to communicate with a lot of folks who may not be totally comfortable with other tech mechanisms, right? But
Hmm.
who've been watching the show. So I think I really appreciate your willingness to step up and you had done shows like this before to kind of step up and do them. I think it's really been terrific.
I mean, this past year without cable, I don't know where we would be because they've gotten us through our YouTube shows, our presentations, set up a whole YouTube channel for us. Uh, and that, the virtual is not going away now, it's here to
Right.
stay. I think we all kind of got forced into this new era of programming for senior centers. And it's pretty
Right.
exciting to be kind of on the cusp of all of that. But the great news is, Arthur, June 1st, we're opening. We're full doors opening. And it's hard to, I think I said this in one of our other shows, it's hard to say reopening or opening because we've been open. We've been here every day throughout the pandemic. And working from home. There's always been somebody in this building, and we've still been working, but our doors are not going to be locked anymore. As of June 1st, the public can come in, and we're just thrilled. We just can't wait to see everybody. And I am so excited to meet people, not through a computer screen.
Right. Right. So are you going to plan like an opening party just for you? You know, it's like meet Liz Tridiak. I've been here forever, but you didn't know who I really was, right?
Every day is a party right
It's
now.
every day is a party. Yeah, that's a real.
Yeah, so throughout the pandemic, I did a couple like meet and greet coffee hours outside when the weather was nice, and I do plan to do a big welcome back party once I feel a little more comfortable with the gathering of larger crowds. And let's see, let's not rush into it too fast. Um, but yeah, it's funny because throughout the pandemic, every time somebody either walked up to the door or pulled in the parking lot, And I'd run out and I'd say, Nancy, who's that? Who's
Who?
here? And I'd go introduce myself because I felt a little attention starved up here
Right.
by myself. Um, so yeah, it's been really, really fun to see people coming into the building and hopping up and going out and introducing myself to people I've only seen like their email addresses or
Yeah.
um, it's just fun to see people.
It's just fun. So, and when you say the building is opening up, so will there be any constraints? Are there any mask issues? Are there any social distancing issues? Are there any things that are there any changes in the procedure of the building, of the building's operation that will be changing, at least in the
Mm.
short?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think throughout this whole pandemic, we've worked really hard to put in some really solid policies and procedures to keep everyone safe. And I have this like 11-page document here on my desk that was step by month, how we were going to scale back up. And then what was it, last week or the week before, with Governor Baker's new announcement of May 29th,
It's like boom, right?
boom. Yeah. So
Right.
there goes all the big plans. But luckily, we are keeping some of our, a majority of our plans in place to scale back up in a more controlled, slow manner, just to make sure everything is going well. So as of June 1st, our doors will be open. People can come in just to browse the bookshelves, the puzzle shelves, um, socialize in our lobby, a little fireplace area, drop in for pool, things like that. You don't have to make an appointment anymore. You can just come in. We are requiring that everybody scans in or signs in just in case we need to do some contact tracing in the future.
Yeah.
Masks will not be required, but we will be encouraging them, especially for folks who, no, just in general, we'll just be encouraging them. Because you never know somebody's circumstances at home. You don't know if they're living with somebody who's immunocompromised or if they're taking
Right.
care of their grandchildren who are too young to be vaccinated, or just that's their comfort level.
And I
Um,
suppose the kind of the flip of that is that if I'm coming in and I am nervous because I don't know about other folks and other folks might not have it, and so that I have a mask, no one's going to like make fun of me for having a mask, because
no.
we're going to be in this world where, I mean, I think of my sister. I have a wonderful. I'm the youngest of six, so all of my siblings are older. Because I am like a mere 71, but all of they start at like 76, they're pretty old. And I was just talking to one sister who's still very uncomfortable leaving,
Mhm.
but I think that, because for a whole variety of reasons, and I think it's important for folks to understand that's okay, that everybody, I think people are really going to be respectful of the fact that you're deciding. And the mask, one of the things we've really come to appreciate, the mask protects you. Certainly
Mhm.
if you had COVID, it would be protecting other people, but it also protects you so that you can feel comfortable going to the senior center, even though everybody there, doesn't have a mask on. Right?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, it, everyone is going to hopefully be respectful of one another. Um, because there's still breakthrough cases coming through for people who have been vaccinated. So it's good to be cautious, and we'll just keep encouraging that.
right. Right. And once again, for folks who hear about that, we got to keep remembering, nobody ever had a vaccine that was 100%, that was like 90%. But we've had how many people vaccinated now? 50 million, so it's 10% of 50 million is 500,000 people. So
Mm,
maybe you're one of the unlucky ones. So to the extent that you're really worried about that, you can take care of yourself by wearing that mask.
yeah.
So, but
And-
they're certainly not required.
right.
And how about any social distancing issues?
We're going to encourage social distancing. We have rearranged um, the furniture and the staff here
Yeah,
so that we can promote distancing. Chairs have been removed, staff are further apart, and we're going to keep that distance for now. In terms of bringing programs back in,
yeah,
so far right now we're only doing programs that are about 10 people or less indoors, and we're still going to be doing virtual and outdoor programming as well. But anything that's large or requires high exertion, like the high aerobics courses, we'll bring back more slowly.
I see. Now, and are you starting off bringing those back at all, or is that going to be a delay until you kind of get up and running? Specifically, the aerobics classes.
There'll probably be a delay with those, maybe midsummer coming back. The low exertion classes like Tai Chi are already back in the building, and those have been going really well. And we'll see. We're being cautious, but they will be back.
And for the Tai Chi classes, is there a limit on the enrollment in those?
Yeah, we're requiring less than 10 people, just so everyone can safely distance in our program rooms.
I see. And now as I walk in, it seems to me that there's a big program room kind of on the right, kind of going at the end on the right. Is that where Tai Chi happens? Or do things happen are there things happening in the bistro?
Yeah.
Yeah, talk a little bit more. I know we had our last guest with us the fab. God, they were terrific, right?
Weren't they?
Your bistro team is awesome, right?
Oh, they're so good. I have my lunch over there waiting for me. I ordered today. It's going to be good.
That's what.
But yeah, the bistro opened this Monday, just yesterday, and we had over 30 people come through for lunch.
Yeah.
It went off beautifully. So for at least the month of June, we're going to keep that bistro area, that large multi-purpose room that the bistro is in, just for food. I'm not going to be putting any exercise classes in there just yet. I don't want to rush things. I want to see how they go. So most of the programs will be down the other 2 hallways where we have the classrooms and fitness rooms.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. So, but a lot of those programs will be coming back. So tell us, there's you tell us kind of what you think is going to be happening, for example, in June in those rooms. Can you just kind of talk about that?
Oh, sure. Well, I'll first plug our chicken barbecue is June 8th. That's coming up. You don't want to miss that. So we have the chicken barbecue coming up.
And is that all outdoors, or is there going to be a component of that that's also indoors?
All of the food is going to be served to go style. We will have tables indoors and outdoors, or you can take it with you.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
But you can hang around,
Yes. Yeah. So in June.
But I suppose that goes back to something you've said about how this may be changing the way you do things in general going forward. So that notion of having a to-go option as well as having a kind of a sit-down option, it's probably you're going to see that a lot.
Yeah, I think to-go is also going to be something that sticks with us as well. I mean, it just makes it's more convenient for folks, and we've done a lot of research into finding green products, environmentally friendly products, because Northborough has a good, strong initiative to go green. So we've put a lot of thought into the little details of getting back up and running full speed.
That's great. So for the chicken barbecue, when is that? What day is that? And what are the times and what are the details?
It's June 8th, and it's between 12 and 1 is when you can get your food. You sign up by calling the senior center. It is a limited ticket event, so people should call soon to sign up, and it's $10 for a half chicken, bistro made sides, including potato salad and coleslaw, roll, and strawberry shortcake for dessert.
And it's all being made fresh there, right? Yeah. It has the seal of the bistro is on this.
Carolyn and Vicky will hand sign each box.
Yeah, that's right. For an extra donation, right?
Yeah.
They'll sign.
Oh, but we have so many cool new things coming up in June. We have music therapy live out back where Kara is playing guitar. That's been really popular. We have a new art journaling called Earth Notes program coming up in June. We have a bird watching seminar. We have a butterfly seminar, informational kind of class lecture. And some of your favorite programs will be coming back too. So acapella's coming back, and Mahjong is back. Trivia is coming inside. I've got my trivia folks right here next to me on the laptop running. It'll be fun.
And that's all happening in June?
That's all happening in June. Big big news.
So is there anything else other than the aerobics class that kind of isn't starting until later?
The Tuesday night dinners are still on hold as well. Haven't quite figured that piece out yet. In the works of ironing out the details, but that won't be back just yet.
But once again, you're kind of thinking about the summer, you're kind of, and I suppose everybody is, as you say, it's like all of a sudden, and it's just going to be all open. And so I think a lot of people are kind of like holding their breath.
Yeah.
So,
And also in the, like the senior center world, June, July, and August are typically the slowest months out of the year.
right.
I don't know whether that's from people who are snowbirding or going elsewhere, vacationing. Snowbirding was the wrong term, but vacationing.
Right.
It just seems to be a slower month. So it hopefully will give us time to ease back in and get things up and running and make sure we're ready to go.
So that's exciting. So now, tell me a little bit about the year, kind of in hindsight. Obviously there have been ups and downs about the year. Can you just kind of talk about, what's been good, what's been bad, your perception about how people have dealt with this and how it maybe has changed them or changed some of their attitudes towards things? I'm
Yeah,
just curious.
yeah. So that's actually a really interesting point that you just mentioned there with how it's been affected or how people have been affected. We are putting together a time capsule of letters and photographs of people's experience of COVID-19 in the past 14, 15 months. And I actually recently got a call from somebody who said that they had been journaling. Well, one person said they had been journaling this whole pandemic so their grandchildren could read what the experience was like. But then somebody called me and said, I've been journaling, but it's not all positive, happy stories about resilience. It's really tough, difficult feelings. And I said, you know what? That's reality. That's, your feelings are valid and they belong in the time capsule. We don't want to sugarcoat it. And this is what it was really like. It was really, really hard. And for some people, it's going to be more difficult easing back into real life. We were just talking about this in a staff meeting yesterday of, bringing staff back in the building if you hadn't already had all your staff in. It's a big shock. It's a huge change of life. And for the past 14, 15 months, you've been almost afraid of getting too close to people, afraid to touch things. And then here it is, June 1st, no masks, and you can go wherever, go anywhere. It's just a shock to the system. And I think there's going to be a huge mental health component to reopening the world that I don't know if we're ready for, not us in particular, but society as a whole. Like, are we ready for what's about to come?
And are you feeling comfortable about trusting other folks, about trusting that people are going to be, being careful about this stuff? But I think what you just mentioned would lead to a really interesting suggestion. I think we should talk to our good friends, Dana Volk, who is the wonderful producer who does these shows, and also to Kathy Dalgleish, right? About having them do a series about that. That would be you talk about a time capsule, but I think the most valuable time capsule would be one that has a real video component to it that really speaks to and speaks specifically to seniors who have gone through this, right?
Absolutely.
Because that's the population that's been really hit. That's the population where a lot of people know somebody, have friends who died. And so to be getting, and it is going to go away. I was just talking to one of my daughters about this. We were just down in DC. We were seeing our grandchild, who was going to be 2 in September, our only grandchild, and we hadn't seen him since last summer.
Oh my
And he
gosh.
just came for a few days, and now so for a whole set of grandparents, there's been these huge delays in terms of watching your grandchildren. And I think but people are going to forget this. People are going to forget this experience. It's going to be quick, in general, and it's going to be a year, it's going to be 2 years, and it's going to fade away. So
Right.
to really have that sense of what this meant, and the senior
Yeah.
center could play a great role in that, right? Just because you're talking to people all the time, I bet, who've got these kinds of, as you say, everybody's heard the resilience stories, but for every one of those, there were those 9 depressing days, where you would just,
Right.
where you
Yeah.
would, and you just felt so trapped, and everybody just felt so trapped in their house, right?
Yeah.
So have you had people calling saying, yeah, I don't think I'm ready yet, or I really don't want to be doing.
Yeah, we have. We've had people call to sign up for the chicken barbecue, but want to make sure that theirs is to go because they're not quite comfortable coming inside and not quite comfortable taking the mask off to eat in public yet. And that's absolutely understandable and totally fine with us. We're willing to accommodate and happy to accommodate anybody who has that type of request. I mean, things are going to be hybrid from now on. When we do music therapy outside, we have a laptop set up and we're zooming it to 4 or 5 participants, and then we have 10 more on the patio. So I think things are just going to be hybrid from now on. I mean, not everybody can jump up and get dressed and leave the house for a 1-hour exercise class and then come back, or a 45-minute program and then go back home. It's a lot. Sometimes it takes a lot for somebody to get that energy up.
And when you speak of so is the music person themselves live, or are they zoomed in? They're live.
She's live. She's here with her guitar and her amp, and we have people in a semicircle out in the patio, and
Right.
our trusty little TV dinner tray table
Right.
with the laptop set up on it, and it works beautifully.
But I suppose for you as the senior center director, when you're thinking forward toward the programming you can do, I suppose this availability of Zoom really kind of opens up your options also.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've heard of people, other senior center directors getting these really great speakers who are on the West Coast, and before it would have been like, oh, that's, not something I do. I don't video call, but
Right.
now it's absolutely normal, and it just opens the door to far more programming options.
Right. And even for little things like what we're doing right now. I mean, in my sense, I think we've talked about this a little bit. My sense is that this is actually a great format in which to do these shows, in that, I'm thinking about, in prior to you, when I was doing shows at the cable station, just the logistics of getting people to be able to kind of drop everything and drive to the station. And then we're hoping everybody is there, but somebody ran late, and then somebody needed to leave early, and as opposed to this format. And I think, and Dana, and once again, kudos to the cable, right? I mean, I hope they all get a raise in this year's budget. No, I shouldn't say that. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but it's I think it's really added a whole extra dimension to the life of folks who are in Northborough, right? To be able to have this as an option, right?
Yeah.
So I am hoping, I'm watching my time because I'm trying to be careful about it, but I'm hoping that you'll consider continuing to do these shows. I think that this has been,
I love it.
I think that this part has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so I will say, as a lawyer, right, one of the things that this period has done is that it has made people of all ages realize, this sounds a little bit dramatic, but realize their mortality, that even if you are feeling fine, right, and even if you're fairly young, that you want to be aware of the fact that bad things could happen quickly. And I emphasize that specifically regarding this project called the Conversations Project, which I know has been active in a lot of communities, where really seniors are encouraged to not only have their healthcare proxy, so that if they're in a position where the doctor has said they really can't make a decision, there's someone who can act for them, but also to have had a conversation with the person who has the healthcare proxy to know how they want to be treated. because I think I saw that a lot. I mean, I lost 17 clients. I lost 17 clients to COVID. That's, you know, when you think of how, I mean, because I do nothing but this, right? So all my, I have no clients under 55, you know, my median client age is 74. So those are my people. So we just kind of saw it, but we also saw these really sad situations play out where somebody is in the hospital and you can't go see them, right? And if you're the and if so that if that person in the hospital hadn't executed a healthcare proxy, they couldn't. There was no place, no way that they could actually execute it, right? Or you have people who had been named on the healthcare proxy, but this happens all the time. People will name someone on their healthcare proxy but not tell them. We'll say, oh, well, you know, that's, you know, it's one of my kids and, oh, she'll be fine and blah, 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 you know. And then I remember talking to a friend of mine, this is on Martha's Vineyard, and we were talking about at Martha's Vineyard, it was somebody at the hospital. We say, so how often when someone's there and you have to, and the doctor has said the proxy should be in effect and you've called the person, how often do they basically say, oh, I didn't know I was the proxy? They said literally about 40% of the time. I said, you got to be kidding me, right? So that happened a lot, right? That happened, you know, that people were just being called who had no idea how, you know, how mom wanted to be treated with situations like this. You know, did she want to be, there was with ventilator issues, there were all these issues. So hopefully that really acts as, and I think I'm going to be focusing on it over this year because I think people are just more aware of this issue. So I think it's an important piece. So anyway, thanks for doing this show. I think that this is really, I think for a lot of folks who have dealt with you virtually for a long, been watching you virtually, hopefully this will be an incentive for them to show up. There's a ton of things happening at your senior center, folks, you know, a ton of things, right? It's now open. You know, there's, if you're concerned about programming, Liz, if they want to call and ask about anything that's going on right now, what number should they call?
508-393-5035.
So just go if for no other reason but to just meet Liz Tridiak, right? I mean, she's doing a great job. She's been really, really trying to help out for, you know, for quite a while, and she's really excited about all the new possibilities at the senior center. So have a great month. Have just a great month. So Liz, I know we'll be talking. We'll probably be doing a show in June, but thank you very much for doing this. Good luck next week. I know this will be a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, folks, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next installment of Frank and Mary here in Northborough. Thank you very much.